Greetings, fellow earthlings, and welcome to Tales from the Hoop, a podcast dedicated to diving into the weird, wild, and wacky world of basketball history. I am your host, Ricky Freck, and today we're going to talk about the worst draft picks of the last 25 years with my brother.
Laser Dave,
So today is the last day of bracket season. It's going to be sad. We're going to have to put it aside for another year. I already
brutal.
have like 7 ideas, so we're good for the next 2 years, assuming Dave does not stop doing the podcast someday soon.
Add him to the hopper.
But today we're going to go. So originally, I think we said this was going to be the biggest bust of the last 25 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I started doing it, one, I don't. I don't know. I have a problem with the word bust, I guess, is my issue because, like,
Mm,
I think a bust should be judged on who could have been drafted in that spot and like who could have realistically been drafted there. Because
yeah,
like if you're saying, oh, I don't know, let's just I'm throwing like the what's his name? Sam Bowie is the example, right? It's like he's
yeah.
the biggest bust of all time because Michael Jordan was the next person drafted. But really, the Blazers were never going to pick Michael Jordan, right?
Because they had Clyde
Because
Drexler.
they already had Clyde Drexler, right?
Yeah,
Like, really, what they wanted was Hakeem Olajuwon, so they just took the next best thing. So,
right.
is Sambuya a bust? Yes, but is he the worst bust ever because Michael Jordan was next? I don't necessarily think so. Just
Yeah.
because I think you have to like talk about what happened. So basically, what I've done is I put together a list of a full 64, and I really tried to limit it, but then I got to like 45, and I was like, well, I can't go any lower than this, so instead, I'm going to explode it to a full bracket.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
So
think I think that's a fair definition because you're right that it, like people don't just draft best player available, and it
right.
super duper doesn't make sense to do that unless you're just terrible and it's like, well, this point guard has a 20% chance of being better than our best point guard.
Yeah,
But like that, most teams don't do that. They're trying to put together a team over a couple of years. So I
right.
I think you're right that many people get called to bust when like the idea was there.
Yeah. Now there
It just
are
didn't pan
oh,
out.
yeah, there are a couple of spots where I just had to list a guy that's a bust because I didn't have basically I had like four more slots I needed to fill, so I just picked like three guys who are widely seen as busts but also were in terrible drafts. So it wasn't like there was a
Okay.
guy they could have gotten or they already had a player in the position of the guy that came after them or whatever. So
Okay.
I'll mention them when we get to them. But yeah, this is a full bracket. We went from the 1999 draft because that team played in 2000, so to me they should
Okay.
count. And also,
Yep.
like, it's not like we're gonna get good players from 25 or 26, right? Like, we don't really know yet. So
Right.
having three players from the 99 draft, I think, is okay.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, so this list, the way or this bracket, the way it has been put together is I just put in 64 names and then randomized it. So
Okay.
there's no
Who knows?
nothing to do with seeding. I don't even know where most of these players are except for the ones I can see on the first list. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'll give you, of course, what year the player was drafted, what who picked them, what position, and then what players they could have drafted in that spot.
Okay.
Any
Okay.
questions before we dive in? That's a lot.
I got it.
Okay. I also spent 2.5 hours yesterday talking about Resident Evil 9, so I'm a little fried with my voice, so
Have you
apologies in
played?
advance. I played and finished.
Give us a 3-word overview.
It is mid,
Oof. Yikes. Okay. Moving on.
but I think most people will disagree with me. All right, here we
Oh,
go. From the 2021 draft, we have your man Corey Kispert, who was picked 15th overall by the Wizards.
really? Wow. Okay.
And the reason Corey Kispert is in here is because I believe the very next pick, I didn't write down the pick for the next guy, but it's within a couple picks usually, is your man and mine, Alperen Şengün.
Okay. Yeah.
And now the reason that they probably didn't pick him is that they had who do they have? They had some big guy. Oh, they had Porzingis. Porzingis was already on the Wizards, but I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
so this is kind of a rough one, but or not a rough one, but kind of a reach by me. But I just think like You have a potential to get a guy who is probably on his way to like top 10 in the NBA, I would
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And you could have partnered him with Bradley Beal and John Wall, and instead you got Corey Kispert, who, come on,
The only thing I would say is, and sorry, what's the name of the bracket again? What's our exact criteria?
the
Not bust,
worst
but
draft pick.
the worst traffic. Okay.
And
So,
the long version would be in relation to the people picked after them.
yeah. So the Thunder had that Shangoon pick, I remember.
Yeah,
And they also had, I can't even think of his name. Pokushevsky
yeah. Oh,
was on their team.
what a goat.
And I remember reading a draft manifesto or whatever, like someone was writing their thoughts, and they were like, they should either trade this pick or like try to trade up or down because Shangoon is like the same as Poku. Like he could be really good. He's like a
Yeah,
foreign player that's really long, lanky, and can handle the ball, but like he's also an unknown. And
right.
so, and Corey Kispert was like pretty dominant in college basketball. So I could see going with the known commodity. Now, the Wizards specifically should take like the highest upside player
Yes, for
always
sure.
because they're terrible, but I think I understand at least. I mean, I think you're right.
I, yeah,
It's a bad pick.
I think, and I think that will, I think that does have to come in at some point as like we can understand why they made the pick. Excuse me. But also, I don't really care for the
Right.
most, like,
Yeah.
it's who's
The results
worse.
are what they are.
Yeah.
Shangun is going to be a third team All NBA.
Yeah. And Corey Kispert, is he still in the league? Who knows? Probably. He probably is.
Yeah, he's on the
Next up,
Wizards. So what are they going to do? Get rid of him?
against Kispert, we have from the 2017 draft, Jonathan Isaac from the
Okay.
Magic at number
Yep.
6. And I believe with the very next pick, the Chicago Bulls took Lauri Markkanen.
Oh dang. Okay. Is Jonathan Isaac the? He's kind of religious.
He's very religious.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to be nice about it.
Oh,
Um. Dang.
I
Okay. Yeah, I
I
think it's Kispert, but
yeah, I mean, I think like getting a guy who is an all-world defender for 12 minutes a night with the sixth pick is rough, but he
yeah.
is like Jonathan Isaac when he plays is very good. He just never plays.
Yeah, there were some flashes there at the beginning. Like before they got Franz and Paolo and like really started taking off, but he was never he seemed like he could be a piece on a team,
Yes.
whereas Kispert, you're just like, he'll probably be in Europe soon.
Yeah, or I mean like Kispert's like best case scenario is Mike Miller. Like Mike Miller, Kyle Korver light.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Right.
Kispert's the worst pick.
Okay. So Kispert's going to move on. Next up we have from the 2016 draft a rare double here. We have two players. So we have
Okay.
Chris Dunn that the Wolves picked number 5, and Buddy
Oh my
Hield that the
gosh.
Pelicans picked number 6. And the very next pick was Jamal Murray.
After Buddy?
After, yeah, or maybe there's one player in between, but the very next guard off the
Okay.
board was Jamal
So
Murray.
those two are against each other
No,
in the same. Oh,
no, they're
sorry.
just I just didn't want to separate them into two different
Okay.
players.
Okay,
We that
gotcha.
happens a couple times, but not often. And then,
So
oh, go ahead.
the first one was Chris Dunn, and then Buddy Hield was picked right after him.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Buddy Hield wasn't a bad pick. Buddy Hield's fine.
Buddy Hield he's I mean I guess, but like you're talking about getting a guy who maybe could start for a play-in team versus one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah, I agree, but
I mean,
I think
I
maybe it's just that we're lumping them together. Like it makes
yeah,
Chris Dunn is a nobody. Like
yeah.
sorry to Chris Dunn and
We
your
could just
family. I
say
don't know
Chris Dunn.
you.
We could just say Chris Dunn. I just don't like Buddy Hield because he played for OU, but we can just say
Oh,
Chris Dunn.
okay.
And then he is going up against the '04 draft Sebastian Telfair, who the Blazers picked 13th, and I think 2 picks later, the Magic got Jameer Nelson, who not nearly the player that um, Jamal Murray is, but still, that's a like for like swap. And Jameer Nelson was a quality starting guard for about a decade, and Sebastian
Yeah,
Telfair was not much,
yeah.
not much.
Hmm. Probably
Also,
Sebastian Telfair.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think
Maybe
I
there's
mean,
just so much. There was like so much hype around him, so it feels
yeah, that's
sadder.
I think
Like
that's
a
the problem. Is like he was. I mean, he was what he was the next guy after LeBron that like ended up on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a high schooler,
right.
and he's like Stephon Marbury's cousin. There's all this stuff that all this hype around him, and then he's just not nothing, but
Bleh.
pretty close.
Yeah, and Chris Dunn, that was kind of a weak draft, right? Like there weren't a there wasn't a huge consensus at the top, if I remember correctly.
Maybe not a huge consensus, but I think the top three players have all made at least an all-star team.
Okay.
And one of those guys who did make an all-star team is on this bracket. We'll talk
Okay.
about it. We'll get there later.
I do think it should be noted that
Yeah.
he was on the Kings,
Who?
but Buddy Hield did average 21 points a game one season.
Oh, come on. I could average 21 points on the Kings.
Oh God. Probably this year. That's bad.
Okay, so next up we have from the '08 draft. This is a really deep pick, so he might not make it very far. In fact, he might not make it past the first round. But we have Nikola Pekovic that the Timberwolves picked 31st overall. And you might be thinking, why would you have a guy that no one has ever heard of and that deep in the draft? Because there's no way anybody is going to be that good after that.
What year was it?
'08.
I have no idea. Damn.
So very soon after him, DeAndre Jordan was drafted.
Ah, man. Yeah.
And DeAndre Jordan, again, like, he wasn't. I read a lot of the scouting reports for some of these guys that I was like, oh,
Okay.
he got drafted late. Was he not seen as like a high upside guy? But like everything that talked, every scouting report I read was just super athlete, can dunk anything. Probably not going to be very, like exactly what you would think, what DeAndre Jordan turned into was what they predicted, but he was still
Yeah.
drafted in the second round, which is kind of wild.
Okay. Yeah. What? Because immediately you said Pekovic, and I was like, he wasn't terrible, but he's not DeAndre Jordan. That's for sure.
No, no. I mean, most of the guys on this list are not terrible. Well, some of them are terrible. Okay. And he is going up against '04 Josh Childress, drafted by the Hawks, sixth
Oh
overall out of
man.
Stanford.
Yeah.
Had a decent career, actually. Not too bad, but the guys after him were Luol Deng and Andre Iguodala.
Ooh, that's tough. That's two pivotal guys. Um, I think I'm gonna go Childress. I just remember the hot like he had that tournament where well, who's the team he played for?
Stanford.
And he came out hot, and it was like this guy's gonna. I remember him vaulting up
Yeah.
during March Madness, and then it just never panned out.
Well, he had a
And those
weird
other
career.
guys,
He had
big
like
oh,
he had like 4 years where he was like a double digit scorer. And then I think he like goes to Spain to play for
okay,
Barcelona or something. Or maybe it happens the
hmm,
opposite. He went there and then came back and was good. But there was like he was solid for a minute and then, well, not really a minute, a few minutes and then fell off. But I just think like you can get, two of the best perimeter defenders of their era, I would say,
yeah,
wing defenders, a future finals MVP, and another guy
yeah,
who has made several All-Star games. It's also kind of wild that Iguodala I think he only made one All-Star team in his whole career, which is, I mean, that's the same as Jeff Teague.
hmm,
You know what I mean? No offense, Jeff Teague, if you're listening, but
yeah,
if the game is on the line, I want Iguodala. So we're going
yeah.
with Josh Childress.
I think so. Even though
Okay.
it does say when he signed with he's in the middle after his Hawks rookie contract right now, he signed with a Greek team
No, it's Greek, not Spain. Okay.
because he got
Yeah.
$32.5 million
Yeah.
dollars a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I remember seeing. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
He
Yeah,
made a ton of money.
that's awesome. Good for
All right.
him.
So now we have a guy who there's not really a good comp after him. So, um, but he was really bad. So Joe Alexander in '08, drafted by the Bucks, eighth overall. I'm assuming you've never
Okay.
heard of Joe
Never even
Alexander.
heard of a Joe Alexander. Yeah.
There isn't really a good. I think he's like a small forward, power forward tweener. So there's not really a good person after him in that draft.
Okay.
But Brooke Lopez was drafted after him,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the Bucks would obviously add Brooke Lopez several years later when he became Splash Mountain. But I don't know. Maybe if they got him earlier, things would have turned. I don't know. There's some of these. It's like it's almost a good thing they didn't make the draft pick because then they got to draft another a guy later, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one for Joe Alexander. He just was not a very good player, though. So, and then next up, we have from the 2020 draft, the Mavs with the 18th pick selected Josh Green from Australia.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think 3 picks later, they could have had Tyrese Maxey at
Mm,
21.
dang. Okay. Okay. I didn't
I,
realize he was so late.
it's not quite a like for like, I don't think, because Josh Green is a small forward, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly, and Maxey, of course, is more of a ball handler. I think Josh Green has has potential, so maybe Joe Alexander moves on because we know he sucks. Comparatively, he's better than me at basketball. Okay, don't come for me, please.
Yeah.
But I think Josh Green like could still turn into something, so maybe it's too early. But also, it is Tyrese Maxey. He's very good.
Yeah. I think I'd go Joe Alexander just because I don't
Okay,
know who that is. Um,
don't know who that is.
and Josh Green is only 24 years old, so
Yeah, it's tough. Some of these newer
you
ones are going to be
never.
tough, but we just
Yeah,
have
yeah,
we have to have them. Okay, so next up we have number 17, Luke Kennard, who the
yeah. Okay.
Pistons picked 12th overall, which is wild to me. I mean, like I like Luke Kennard, but
Yeah.
12 overall is wild, and it makes it even worse because Donovan Mitchell was the next pick off the
Mm,
board,
dang. Yeah, that's tough.
or
Big time
within the
tough.
next
Okay.
couple of picks.
Yeah. You keep saying names, and I'm like, I would, I don't feel horrible about him at 12, but then you say the next name, it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
Golly. Okay.
And then he's going up against a guy that this is one that's definitely a front runner to some degree, but also it's just kind of sad because we have '07 Greg Oden picked first overall, and then the next 2 picks are Kevin Durant and Al Horford. Of course,
Yeah.
Greg Oden could have turned out to be good, but he got injured and did not turn out to be good.
I mean, unless we just want to be nice to Greg Oden because it didn't pan out because of injury and stuff.
I think Greg Oden has to move on.
Yeah, it's Greg Oden.
He has to make it at least a round. No offense to I like you, Greg Oden. I was really rooting for you when you joined the Heat,
Yeah,
but sorry,
I
buddy.
I definitely think there's a point where we can opt out and be like, okay, we picked on Greg Oden too much. We don't want to do that anymore,
Yeah.
but it's so bad. And like, because there really wasn't even, sorry, not, there wasn't consensus, right? It was like you have these two otherworldly guys and you could go either way. And
Well,
he fit the team better, but like
yeah.
Kevin Durant was like mega star in the making, it looked like. So they both would have been acceptable people to take.
I mean, he lost to Oklahoma State, so he wasn't couldn't have been that good.
Yeah, and the like craziest, luckiest game Oklahoma State ever played.
How dare you? Luckiest. I don't know about that.
Was that not the like guy falling out of bounds, throwing it behind his back, 3-pointer?
I don't think that's the Eton game, but it is the game where the big what's his name? It was a big who had like never shot a three and made a three to win the game or something wild like that. Like
Ivan
didn't
McFarland.
no, it wasn't IMAC. I would know it if it's IMAC. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, we got to move on. And I will point out that I'm not a complete homer, as you will see later. Okay, in the '05 draft, we have EK Ike,
Are you
maybe?
gonna put Marcus Smart on worst draft picks?
No,
Okay.
Ike or EK Diogu. The
Oh,
Warriors
it's
drafted
Jillian
him
Graham.
ninth
Okay.
overall.
Wait, say it again. Ike?
Ike or EK Diogu,
Spell it.
Ike, but
Okay.
he's from like Senegal or something. So I'm not
Okay.
100% sure how to pronounce it. And he's going
Okay.
up. He was drafted ninth overall by the Warriors, and this is kind of like a potential versus potential pick, right? Because it is Andrew Bynum was the next
Mm,
big off the board.
that's tough.
So, and he is going up against it's getting confusing because I'm saying 2 names, but then I have to do another 2 names. So it's throwing I'm almost like, okay,
Okay.
so we're going Andrew Bynum versus Ike Diogu. No. All right. Then we go to the 2012 draft with Michael Kidd Gilchrist, drafted second overall by the Bobcats. Not a bad player, but the next 2 guards off the board are Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard.
Okay, well, Bradley Beal might be even worse. I mean,
You think Bradley Beal is worse than Michael Kidd Gilchrist?
I'm just where we're at this point, I mean,
He does have like
sheesh.
one of the worst contracts of all time, but he was a good player at one
Yeah.
point in time.
I don't know, man. Bynum was for like 2 years there.
Okay, he's good.
He won two titles, right, with
Yeah,
Kobe.
yeah.
I remember. I think he was an all-star both times.
He has way better haircut. I can tell you that for free. Do you
And
remember
I
that
know
picture of him?
people. Oh, really?
You remember
Well,
that picture
what?
of him against when he was playing with the 76ers and on the bench and he
Oh,
he
yeah, yeah,
has like a
yeah.
bowl cut. It's so good.
Dang, that's tough. Probably Ike, just because
Didn't
I don't
MKG have a
even.
moment?
Huh?
MKG had a moment, right? Like there was a
Right.
period
Yeah.
of time where he was fine.
He was at least like there was flashes, and you were like, okay, he
Yeah.
might turn into something. And he was just on the worst team in the league
He also has
for
a horrible shot.
nothing you can do, you know.
I mean, there are things you can do. There are things you can do. Okay, we'll move Ike on because even I don't know who he is, and I read a lot of draft reports. So,
Yeah.
all right, now we have one that you may get not mad about, but you may disagree with him being on the list. I don't know how you feel about this guy
Okay.
because we have from the 2016 draft, the number one overall pick by the 76ers, Ben
Yep.
Simmons.
Oh, I thought you were gonna, sorry. I thought it was a different number one overall pick for the 76ers.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that guy later.
Yep. Okay.
And after him was Jalen Brown. Now, Ben Simmons had a moment. He was a good player,
Yeah. This is the
but
Chris Dunn draft, right? 2016.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. There wasn't a huge. I mean, Ben Simmons was a big prospect, but there wasn't like all these otherworldly picks ahead of Chris Dunn.
I mean, ahead
It
or
was a bad
behind?
draft, right?
You mean behind?
No, ahead.
No, I mean Jalen Brown, Ben Simmons. There's some other guys too, I think.
You named one good player.
I mean, Ben Simmons was a good player for a moment. And I thought you'd be more on Ben Simmons' side here. So
Was
maybe I
he
was
just
wrong.
on a shitty team though?
Now I have to hit the explicit tag. Okay, and he is going up against from the 2011 draft, Inez Freedom. I don't know what he's going by now.
Okay.
The third pick by the Jazz,
He was
and
third overall. Dang.
yeah,
Okay, that is sorry. I thought he was like 18th,
no.
which okay, third
And
overall.
the next couple of bigs off the board are Tristan Thompson and Jonas Valanciunas. Now,
Okay.
I'm not a huge JV fan. In fact, in my latest video where I ranked all the fifth picks of all time, I said I hated his game, but he's a much better player than Enes Kanter. Is it Enes Freedom now? What does he go by?
I followed him on Twitter for a very long time, even after he left the Thunder.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's all going on in his life, but I don't follow him anymore. I know
Okay.
that it kind of came to a head, and I was like, I'm just gonna push that out of my life. Similar to Kanye. I held on for too long, and I just said
Okay.
we got to be done with this.
Those are the two
Um,
you picked was Enes Kanter and Kanye West, were the two you picked to hold on to for too long.
Not like sorry, meaning like even when Kanye was like running for president, I was like, well, this is at least funny. But then it just became not funny anymore, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
But it could turn around. I don't
Um,
know. This is a bit of a tangent, but I don't know if you've kept up with the Afro Man saga.
oh my gosh, yeah, love it.
Well, but he was going wild for
Oh, ahead of that,
some like MAGA adjacent stuff for a while,
oh
and
no,
then he is. I don't know. It's been a ride. It's been a ride to be an Afro Man fan.
yeah. I was gonna say Ben Simmons just because when Cantor was on the Jazz and then the Thunder, he was like a pretty valuable piece, like a rotation guy.
Yeah,
And I don't feel like Tristan Thompson or Valanciunas was ever like some old otherworldly beating people, but they're definitely better than Cantor. And Simmons was an All NBA. You know, could have turned out different if he didn't get the yips. I don't really know. I still don't really understand what happened. Bad
I don't know.
back.
I don't know what's happening with him. I mean, I think like if you're just basing it on the level of the player after them, Jalen Brown is like leaps and bounds better than any other player in this court quintet in this group of five.
Okay.
Like it's not even close, right? Like Jalen
But
Brown
Ben
is.
Simmons is the second best player of all those guys. So,
Are you sure about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Over Valanciunas?
Yes. What are you talking about?
I mean, over his career, at his peak,
Simmons
sure.
was like a multi-time All-Star.
At his peak, sure. But like over his career, I don't know. I think it's
I mean, yeah,
closer
his
than you
career
might
is
think.
horrible.
So you
But
want to go with
Cantor had like a 12-year career as a 15 and 10 guy. I mean,
15 and 10?
is
He's putting up those
Valanciunas
kind
that
of
much
numbers?
better? Am I crazy?
I mean, if Cantor's putting up 15 and 10, then his numbers are better than Valanciunas, but I don't think he's putting up 15
Let
and 10
me stat check myself.
because Valanciunas, I know pretty much for a fact, is like 13 and 10 for his career.
I mean, it's hard to tell. So,
What do you mean it's hard to tell? Their numbers.
because like his first couple years, he's averaged like 4 points, 7 points, but he wasn't playing.
Okay.
And then he had like 3 years at the end where he held on too long, and he has there. So his averages are down, but there are multiple OKC years where he had 18 and 11, 13 and 8, 14 and 8, 14 and 11. Like
I'm just
I
looking
would
up
say he's better than
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas, and
Really?
like only worse than Tristan Thompson because of the instrumentalness of the LeBron title team.
Maybe you're right. Okay. We can go. I mean, I want to go Ben Simmons, so I'm not mad about it, but let's see. I'm on stat head. Let's compare. Who's this? Inez. Let's see. Oh, it says Inez Freedom on stat head, so
Hard to find.
no, I'm saying now we know for sure what he goes by.
Yeah, he was. There was one year in OKC where he was like top three voted for six man of the year because
You know, looking at it, they're not that much different.
that's what I'm saying.
They're not as different as I thought. All right, we will send Ben Simmons through. Sorry to Inez Freedom.
Heck yeah.
You didn't deserve this slander I put on you.
I was trying not to be a homer because I know that. Sorry, well, I'm not like a fan of his anymore, but I was when he was in OKC.
Yeah.
What a great time, the Stash Brothers on Twitter. But
Okay.
yeah, I
Uh,
think it's Simmons.
Now we have a moment where I'm going to prove I'm not a homer because
Okay.
we have 2020 James Weissman, the number 2 pick by the Warriors. Now the good thing working in his favor is there's not really a good big after him, right? But I will say that LaMelo Ball and Denny Abdia came after him. So
Yeah.
not looking great for him. But then going up against him is in the 2018 draft, Marvin Bagley III, also picked second overall by the Kings. And right after him was Luca and Trey, but then also Jaren Jackson Jr. is in that draft if you want a comp to like his
Oof.
actual position. So
Dang.
it's
Okay.
a rough one for Marvin Bagley the third.
How far? What years were they? Like, how far apart are they?
2 years apart.
Because Bagley's still in the league. Is Wiseman?
We don't need to talk about that. Okay. He's available.
So that kind of, for me, that might do it. It's funny how like eerily accurate or like how eerily close they are.
Yeah. Is Bagley still in the league? Who does he play for?
I thought he was on the Pistons.
I don't think not since a while ago. He is playing. It says he's playing for the Mavericks though, but he hasn't been playing for the Pistons for a couple of years. I don't think.
Hmm. Well, there you go.
He
Shows
yeah
how much
he
I.
he played for the Pistons in 2024, and he was traded to Washington, and then midway through 2025 traded to Memphis, and then midway through this season traded to
Oh
Dallas.
my Lord,
So it's been a
that's
while
nuts.
since he's been with the Pistons. So you want to go back you want to go Wiseman. Wiseman is the worst pick. I think I probably agree. I think Bagley is like a relatively solid player. It just stinks that they could have had Jaren Jackson Jr. or
Yeah.
Luka Doncic and Trey Young.
It also doesn't help that. Oh dang, Bagley was in that draft.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed. I think I was reading when you. That might change it for me.
I'll let you know that it won't be the last time we talk about those two in a draft if you want to save it for the next one.
Who was after Wiseman?
Uh,
Lamelo and
LaMelo and Denny.
dude missing out on Luca,
Should I
which
put should I put the Mavericks in this draft or not the Mavericks, the Hawks for trading Luca for Trey? Because I did not do that, but I thought about
I
it.
mean it still worked out. I know obviously Luca was better, but like Trey Young wasn't a bad pick, and it made sense at the time because again Luca was like high upside, but I think I might take Bagley, knowing I forgot the names you said.
So you're
But
saying we
it's either way. They're both so bad. It's terrible.
let's move Weissman forward because we will revisit
Okay.
Luca and Trey very soon. Well, I don't actually
Wiseman
know.
had the issue of the owner being like 2 timelines now, baby, and it just felt like they were immediately cursed.
Yeah,
Like,
did not work at all. Okay,
yeah.
let's go ahead and take this side of this like region down to
Excuse me.
the final four,
Okay.
so we don't have to. We can kind of forget about them for a while.
Yeah.
So we have 21 Corey Kispert, who was draft. The next guy was Shingun, not the next guy,
Yep.
but later on. And then oh 04 Sebastian Telfair, who is Jameer Nelson. I mean, I like Shingun is the better player, but I feel like if
Yeah.
you're just talking about fit, Telfair is probably the worst pick. Also, Telfair probably has had a worse career than Kispert will have, just because Kispert's game could like stick around for a long time, I feel like.
Yeah. Let's do Telfair.
Okay, so Telfair
I
moves
agree with
on.
that.
All right, now do we put Mr. Greg Oden out of his misery against oh 04 Josh Childress? I would say no,
Man, I don't think so, but
because Josh Childress did have like a couple of years.
Childress was on the cover of one of the NCAA games, right?
I believe they both were on a cover in an NCAA game.
Oh,
No, no, I
dang.
think Durant actually was the cover.
No, I think you're right. Was there two college games at one point?
There definitely were. There was, yeah, because EA made one and then there was another one.
I think they were competing covers.
That would be good.
I think it's Greg Oden. I'm so
All
sorry.
right, man. Rip, not Rip, you're still alive, but you know what I mean to you, Greg Oden. Next we have a battle of two guys you've never heard of, and frankly, until I made this, I had only heard of one of them. We have '08 Joe Alexander, who doesn't
Yeah.
have a good comp behind him, and then '05 Ike Diogu, who was drafted ahead of Andrew Bynum. Uh,
I guess
yeah,
Ike.
I think Ike is probably worse because there's definitely like a comp. And then we have 2016 Ben Simmons and 2020 James Weissman.
Boy.
I mean, Ben Simmons he did play well.
Yeah,
We have to give
you
it up
got to
to him.
go Weissman. I mean,
Okay.
he has he done anything of note?
Uh no, unfortunately. He'll get there someday, don't worry. This is going to be his year
Yeah.
next year. 2027 is Weissman's year, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure of it.
Honestly, like this is probably a good. I mean, I think these guys would be kind of favorites if it was just a bust category because we have '04 Sebastian Telfair versus '07 Greg Oden. Again, I would still probably lean Oden
Man.
as much as I
I
don't want
mean,
to.
it's sad. That's the only thing is it's just so sad, but it's not inaccurate.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose this, not make it to the final, or to the final four, but I think he beats Sebastian Telfair just because if there was like a legitimate good player behind, I mean, great player. Jameer Nelson is a good player. As much as I don't like him for, actually we beat him. I don't care. I was about to say for the '04 March Madness, but we beat St. John's in the Sweet 16, so or the Elite Eight. So I don't care about that. But so I just don't think I feel like Kevin Durant doesn't play center, but Kevin Durant is also a top at worst 20 player in NBA history,
Hmm. Yeah.
and even like Al Horford is a very good player, like
Yeah.
very very good.
I mean, the you're entering like the Sam Bowie, like we gave up on an all-time and it was not even Kevin Durant was such a like you knew he had it, you know?
Yeah,
And so obviously like it looked like Odin had it too and it was just injury related, but
yeah,
like just the way it played out, again, not his fault in any way, but
yeah. I'm just looking at
ah,
their roster. So wait, is he was? Oh, he didn't play at all his rookie season, did he? He missed his whole rookie season. Odin,
Odin?
right?
I don't know.
Because
I'm young.
he's not listed on the roster. Let's see if he is listed. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got their roster for his rookie season. So imagine you had a team. The starting lineup was,
Dude, can I guess?
yeah,
Dame wasn't there yet, right?
no,
But
no,
Wes Matthews,
Yeah.
Brandon
No,
Roy,
no. Wes Matthews. Brandon Roy is there.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge is there.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
oh.
then I don't know the rest, but that's all
Hey,
you need. Like those three studs.
you know who else is here?
No,
Ike Diogu.
that's like what name could you possibly say?
No, but yeah. So like Steve Blake, Brandon Roy, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Joel Prisbilla is your starting five. Could have been
So
them.
good,
Could have been
so
them.
good. And
All right.
Dame eventually.
Yeah.
I
All right.
guess they
So
probably
let's.
wouldn't have got Dame if they didn't get Greg Oden.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move Greg Oden on, unfortunately, and take Sebastian Telfair out of his misery here. And now we have Ike Diogu versus James Weissman. I would probably still go Weissman. I just don't think like Andrew Bynum's a good player. I don't know. I mean, the problem is I really love Denny. That's the real issue. Is I'm like, man, if I was the Warrior, if the Warriors could have Denny,
Yeah,
he'd be perfect with them.
yeah.
LaMelo would not have worked at all, right? That would have been such a cluster.
I've always wondered what Steph would look like without the ball. Like if Steph just became Clay
Yeah,
in
or I mean,
his elder years,
or like
like
he needs a Ray Allen turn. He really does need like that would be good for him is to go. I mean, he could play for another 5 or 6 years if he just like
yeah,
switched to
wasn't
being
the
Ray
guy.
Allen. Yeah,
I know that everyone says it's not going to happen because it would be like one of them admitting defeat. But him and
yeah,
LeBron playing together
be
somewhere,
wild. It would be
perfect.
wild.
They'd feed together so well. Ugh.
Bring Curry to the Thunder and let him play with SGA. Just
Maybe
stand
they'll
there in the
play in
corner.
Vegas.
Play in
I was think,
Vegas?
yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's an expansion
Oh, I
team
see.
happening,
Okay. Yeah.
so they could get together in Vegas. I My hot take. I used to think that Kevin Durant was going to come back to the Thunder one more time
Hmm.
before he retired. I think he's going to play the first Seattle season and then retire
That would
in
be
Seattle.
amazing. That would be amazing.
He's
Oh,
going to
what
start it and end it in Seattle.
dude, that's such a Kevin Durant move. And also I would like he would immediately become my favorite player.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a like low stakes,
So good.
but the city's going to like love him. So he's going to get all the admiration. They'll probably retire his jersey.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, we want the Thunder's KD records back. Bring him
Oh,
over here."
that would be so great. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Okay. I think we go Weissman.
yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
And then I think we go Weissman over Odin
Okay,
because Weissman did not get hurt. He's just bad at basketball.
it's not fair to Odin to keep going this far.
Yeah.
We've beaten him down all that he can
He
take.
deserves it. He hasn't he handled enough?
Yeah,
James
I agree.
Weissman's still young. He can handle our scorn. Okay, so that is our first Final Four down. It has been almost 30 minutes, so we got to start moving through this. All right, here we go. So Andrew, or excuse me, Andrew, '06 Adam Morrison, uh,
Oh,
number three to the Bobcats. I think like 2 picks later, Brandon Roy, who of course could have been, what could have been with Brandon Roy, but still much better. Even despite that, much better player. Although Adam Morrison does have 2 titles and I have none. So, and then next
okay.
up is 13 Kelly Olynyk, who the Celtics drafted 13th overall, and 2 picks later, the Milwaukee Bucks selected Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that's fine, but it's Adam Morrison for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think
It's the Giannis thing is such a uh out of nowhere. Like,
you are right, but at the 13th pick, I think that's when you take the flyer. You don't get a Kelly Olynyk who is, I mean, I
I
get
get what you're saying.
actually, I'm trying to remember. Had they traded away KG and Paul Pierce by that point? I think they had sent him to the Nets, which means that they were probably working on the rebuild. So I think
Yeah,
they should have, like, Kelly Olynyk was never going to be a star. But I agree. I think it is Adam Morrison moving forward because it's,
it's right at the cusp. 13 is like you could go either way. Like you could talk
yeah,
yourself into, well, we were just outside the playoffs,
right.
like we just
Yeah.
need a solid or but you're right. It's
Okay.
close.
Next up is I don't think either of these guys are going to make it super far because they're so recent, but I did have to just get some recent guys. So we have The 2023 draft, Scoot Henderson, picked by the Blazers, third overall. A team that is
Okay.
already filled with guards, by
That's
the
true. A
way. Keep
lot of
that in
them.
mind. And they could have had Amin or Osar Thompson.
Ooh. Yep. Okay.
And then 2024 draft, the Rockets at the third pick selected Reed Shepard, and they could have had Stephon Castle, who is
Hmm.
much better as a player. I think the
Yep.
Scoot Henderson is the worst pick, not necessarily because he's so much worse than Reed Shepard, because I think he's actually like not a bad player,
Okay.
but already having so many guards and picking another guard is wild.
I'll pick Scoot because like what happened to him? I don't know anything. Like I have not heard the name since he got drafted. He was such a huge like talking point of he's looking so good. He's like setting the G League on fire.
So
And then
I
I don't think I've seen him play since then.
Well, I think that the problem is he plays for the Blazers, who get no game time because the NBA is mad at them because Chauncey Billups cheated on bet on basketball. But I have heard good things out of him, and I mean, I say all
Okay.
that like that they're so bad, but I think like I believe their coach is Tiago Splitter right now,
Interesting. Yeah,
because
he definitely is. Sorry.
he was their backup, and yeah, he's averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, three or 4 assists, 3 rebounds. It's like
Okay.
not terrible numbers. He's only played 22 games this year, so he's been injured. But so that's why you haven't heard about him this year, at least. But yeah, he hasn't ever really taken like a next step. But he's a good player. I just think like the situation was not a good. Like it was a bad place to pick him. When you are, I mean, they already had like Anthony Simons. They already had. I think they still had Dame at the time, or Drew. They had Dame or Drew Holiday, one of the two. I don't know
Yeah.
which one. They have what's the other guy? Shoot, what's his name? He's a
Shaden
good.
Sharp.
Yeah, Shaden Sharp, and they pick Scoot Henderson. I don't think he's a terrible pick, but I think he's going to move on for now,
Yeah.
and then we'll
I was
just
gonna say Scoot only shoots 40% field goal percentage,
yeah, not
but
great.
guess who also shoots 40% from field goal percentage?
Case and Wallace,
Reed Shepard.
reach effort.
So
Okay, here we go. A battle of a couple of big men here because we have from the 2010 draft Ekpe Udo, who the Warriors picked sixth overall, and 2 picks later, I think, was Greg Monroe.
okay, who cares?
He's a solid player,
Okay.
and
But
in
Udo rules.
next up in the 2009 draft, the Memphis Grizzlies, who, by the way, already had Mark Gasol and Zach Randolph, picked Hashim Thabit instead of
Oof.
adding James Harden or Tyreek Evans to their
Oof.
roster.
Yeah.
So,
Um Luckily I don't have to pick Ekpe because he's originally from the city I live in and also a like bona fide 2K player. Like he held his own on the 2K. Again, one of those players where you can like fudge the shot mechanics to just
uh-huh.
drain it a little bit, and you're like,
Right, yeah,
this guy's got a 60% or 60 overall 3 point, but somehow I'm draining it with him.
yeah, that's what matters for sure.
Um, I'm just saying he at least like got some minutes in. Yeah,
It's true. Yeah, Hashim Thabit was basically nothing. Although
shame to beat, man.
I really think that I made a shirt once that had his picture on it and said "Feed the Beast." And I really wish that he would have gotten good so I could have started making that shirt. I think it would have taken off.
Okay, I just want to say
Uh-huh.
important for Ekpe Udo.
Uh-huh.
Euro Cup champion, Italian Super Cup winner,
Okay. Okay.
Euro League MVP, two-time
Okay.
Turkish League champ, two-time Euro
Okay.
League blocks leader. Come on,
I'm sure he's fine, but he is no Greg Monroe. But
man. When the
unfortunately,
Thun at the
what?
late stage Russ years, we got Hashim to beat one year,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what I'm
was
talking
like,
about.
he's gonna revamp everything. We got this.
That's when I made my shirt.
Really, very tall. Like when he's sitting on the bench, like he just
It's a
his
very
head
big
is so much
torso.
higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Next up, we have 2011's Brandon Knight, who the Pistons picked eighth overall instead of getting cardiac Kemba Walker, who is coming off of probably the greatest like conference championship into NCAA tournament run we've ever seen.
yeah. Somebody made a great video on that.
Oh yeah, you saw that
up on
today?
YouTube
I
now.
did put that
Yeah.
out today. And then he is going up against a guy you thought I was talking about earlier, because in the 2017 draft, the 76ers again had the number one overall pick, and they
Mm,
selected Markel Fultz instead of
yeah.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I think it's got to be Fultz. I still
So
don't know like what it is that's happened to him because he
there's a lot of
seemingly
guys.
had like good games and I don't know. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think like when they're playing up to their level of like potential, I think Markel Fultz and Jason Tatum are closer than Brandon Knight and Kemba Walker, but I think like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I feel like Markel Fultz is just like so disappointing. Whereas Brandon Knight is like, okay, we kind of knew this guy wasn't going to be like he had a chance, but
Yeah. If you have
you
the
know,
number one overall pick, it
yeah,
that definitely factors
yeah.
into like where you took them matters.
All right, we have a battle between two guys I would be very surprised if you have ever heard of.
Okay.
And they're also like relatively late in their draft, sort of. I mean, one of them's still in the lottery, but I would say neither of these guys are going to win, is what I'm saying. But we have
Okay.
2001 Kedrick Brown, who the Celtics picked 11th overall instead of Vladimir Radmanovich and Richard Jefferson.
Yep. Okay.
And then we have O2's Robert Archibald, who the Grizzlies picked 32nd overall. However, they could have gotten Carlos Boozer. The problem
Hmm.
is everyone was excuse me, Boozer played center for Duke, and everyone was really worried about him switching positions to power forward in the NBA. So he was projected to be like a top 15 pick, and he fell down to like 34.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And they picked Robert Archibald.
I like the name more, so I'm gonna push through Robert Archibald. I don't care though because they're both
I
people
don't
I've
think
never heard of, and
I don't think either one is winning. Very going much further.
yeah.
All right. Next up, we have 2000 Dermar Johnson. Can't forget the extra R in there. He was picked by the Hawks sixth overall, and they could have had Jamal Crawford.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's going up against 2011 when the Jazz picked Alec Burks 12th overall instead of getting Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh, I think that's got to be Alec Burks.
Yeah, now Kawhi is a little bit different, a little bit different. Like I think the comp is better between Dermar Johnson and Jamal Crawford because Alec Burks is definitely more of a two guard than Kawhi Leonard, who can just pretty much do everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you can get a guy who is, I mean, what he's probably, I mean, we talk about this a lot. We really should just someday do a ranking of the top 50 players, but Kawhi's got to be like easily in the top 50, if not
A
top
weird thing I
35.
was thinking about the other day
Uh-huh.
is that Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant have the same amount of titles and Finals MVPs,
Yeah.
and that just doesn't like. I'm sure the games played is more than double,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it just doesn't. It's like such a brain breaking idea that like they've technically both been in the league for a long time, but it feels like Kawhi's played again half the games maybe, but they
Yeah.
somehow. I would have thought Kevin Durant had more.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you just got to, if he was good at basketball, maybe he would.
I
Okay.
guess.
Next up, we have from the 2009 draft, just four picks later, from Hashim Thabit, the Timberwolves, with the sixth pick, selected Johnny Flynn.
Ooh. Yep.
One pick after selecting Ricky Rubio. And the picks
Yep.
after Johnny Flynn were Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Ty Lawson, and Jeff Teague.
Johnny Flynn's probably the name I think of the most when this like conversation comes up.
And he is going up against number Johnny Flynn's the one you think about. I guess that makes because he's
Maybe
right before
not. Sorry,
Steph.
Sam Bowie is
Yeah,
the other one, but Johnny Flynn.
I
It's
don't
just the
know.
fact that you had two point guards. What are you doing?
Well, I'm pretty sure they drafted another one later. I think they drafted. I don't remember who it was, but I think they drafted one in the second round too. But he is going up against in the 2014 draft another pick that proves I'm not a homer because we have one of my favorite players of the last decade, Jabari Parker, going number two to the Bucks
Okay.
when they could have picked Joel Embiid to partner. Well, actually, I think
Sure. Yeah.
Giannis was the year before, so they're kind of doing whatever they could at this point. But Parker, of course, gets he tears his ACL like two times. He's like a pretty good scorer when he was healthy, but never
Yeah.
really like he was supposed to be like a do everything guy and didn't really happen. I think he though gets lucky here that he doesn't move forward because he's going up against Johnny Flynn, who, as you said, is
Yeah.
probably a favorite to win the bracket.
Well, and the other thing I'd say, similar to the Shangoon argument, and my memory's not fully there, but Embiid didn't play for a full year before,
Yeah, he missed his first season.
but no, even like before the draft, right? Like there was
You're
a ton of concern about his
Oh, you're
health
saying he sat out?
before
Yeah, I
they
think
got
he did
drafted.
miss part of his time in Kansas. I think that's true.
Right. And so there, but, and even if he didn't miss time, I don't remember the exact story, but I remember people being like, Joel Embiid might be the best prospect ever, but also he started
Mhm.
playing basketball like 3 years ago
Yeah,
and he's always hurt. So,
yeah.
like, Jabari Parker, I guess we're talking about in retrospect, but like at the time, it was not crazy at
No, I mean,
all.
No, it was super not crazy because Jabari Parker was also maybe one of the best prospects of all time. Like he was
Yeah.
also one of those guys they call generational, who is not. They don't use the word correctly.
Yeah. If it weren't for Air Canada, he'd
Yeah,
have been
I mean, it was definitely like
number one.
between those two. They were like, "Hey, who's better, this guy or this guy?" And then none of them. Joel Embiid's better. Sorry, guys. Okay, our last matchup of this first round here is 2015 Jahlil Okafor, who the 76ers picked third overall instead
Yep.
of getting Kristaps Porzingis.
Yep.
And you can argue that Jahlil Okafor is like definitely one of the big victims of Steph Curry changing basketball because like if
Yeah.
Jahlil Okafor comes out 10 years before he did, he's probably has a couple All-Star games, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
still. And then we have in the 2017 draft, Zach Collins was picked 10th overall by the Blazers instead of getting the new second greatest scorer in NBA history, Bam Adebayo. First for now, until Kevin Porter Jr. takes the record back for Kobe.
Nice.
I did send you that clip, right, where he's like, I got to
Yes.
do it for Kobe,
Yeah.
Kobe's strongest warrior.
I think it's Zach Collins because Bam is such a underrated. I mean, maybe properly rated now because people are all about the 83 points, but
I'm not.
I
I,
can barely remember who Zach Collins is.
yeah. I mean, I still am not a big Bam fan. I would take Kristaps over him if I was making a team, but I do think Kristaps is hurt so much that like that hurts his case to be
Yeah.
so much better than Jahlil Okafor. He is definitely better than Jahlil Okafor. Don't get me wrong, but
Kristaps was also like the start of the unicorn draft, like the
yeah,
draft prospect. Like
yes.
we got this 7'2" guy that like weighs 170 pounds who like might break his leg, but might be Luka
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Doncic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through this, get down to this final four. So we have Adam Morrison
Okay.
versus Scoot Henderson. I'm assuming Morrison takes the
Yeah.
spot.
Easy.
Scoot is just a little too young still, I think. Then we have Hashim Thabit versus Markel Fultz, which is kind of a tough one. I don't know. What do you
Who are
think?
who are the players after them again?
So Thabit was James Harden and Tyreek Evans, and Markel Fultz is Jason Tatum.
That's so
So like
tough.
really good players too.
Right.
Now, I guess you could argue to some degree. I think so. And this is a lot of times I would say, oh, we should take off the beat because it's not a big that got drafted after him. However, the
However,
Grizzlies
they already
had
had.
Mark
Yeah.
Gasol and Zach Randolph, so they didn't
I
need
think
a
it's to
big.
beat for that reason.
Okay, yeah, that's
Like
fine.
what are you doing?
Yeah, kind of
And
like
if you
Johnny.
added Harden, they would have been a title team.
Yeah,
Like
probably. I
it
mean,
really makes no sense.
it
Like
doesn't.
like if we're talking about why the worst pick, like why would you make this pick? It's
I
kind
mean,
of like a
I can see. Okay, here's what I will say. I can see a scenario of a GM being like, here's my starting lineup: Mike Conley, OJ Mayo, the grocery list, Rudy Gay, Zach Randolph, Mark Gasol. Do I need another scorer? Maybe not. So do I just go the highest upside, which maybe Thabit is the highest upside still left? I can see why you would make that pick. I think it was dumb.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, now,
Obviously, we didn't know James Harden was going to be James Harden, but it just
no.
in
Well,
retrospect would have changed like the outlook of their team for
Oh
10
yeah,
plus
yeah,
years.
for sure. Yeah, they would have been so much better. Okay, so 02 Robert Archibald versus 2011 Alec Burks. I think we got to go Burks because
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard was next.
Yeah.
And then we have Johnny Flynn versus Zach Collins. Again, pretty easy there, right?
Johnny
Johnny
Flynn all the
Flynn.
way. Yep.
Okay. Let me do some stuff while I talk. Okay, so next up is Adam Morrison versus Hashim the Beat.
I think I'd go Hashim to beat.
So let's see. As I'm looking, I need to scroll up to see Adam
How many
Morrison.
seasons did Adam Morrison play?
Yeah, and I mean he played through like 2011, maybe 2012. And the guy after him that's like the closest comp is Brandon Roy, who was a good player but also got injured.
He played 3 seasons.
Adam Morrison,
Yeah.
but he won two titles. How is that possible?
Two of
Oh
the his
07, oh 07, oh
he
08, oh 09.
he played
Oh,
Charlotte.
yeah.
Oh, there was a in the middle. There was a did not play for injury,
Oh, okay.
and then the second year that he played, so third year with Charlotte, he got traded to the Lakers
Okay.
and had 2 seasons with the Lakers,
Right.
both of
Okay.
which they won a title.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the best player ever because he won a title 50% of the time.
I mean, you want to have him on your bench for sure. He's a good, at least a good like totem. But I just think the Beat is the better player, but I do think that James Harden is way better than Brandon Roy because of the injuries. So I
Yeah.
think I would probably go Thabit.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree. I
And then
agree.
is Johnny Flynn moving on past
Yeah.
Alec Burks here? And are you
Buy
saying,
around to the final.
are you, okay, now this is interesting because we have a battle of the '09 players. Both of these guys in the same draft within
Okay.
4 picks of each other. Are we saying Johnny Flynn? I mean, it is rough to have literally 4 point guards who are all better than you. Now, to Johnny Flynn's credit, he did get injured in his second year. He had a pretty solid rookie season. I think he made the all rookie second team. So, like, there was something there.
We should have thought about this with Greg Oden too.
Uh huh.
No, no, never mind. It actually kind of made sense. Part of the we're not evaluating the player as much as we are the team making the choice.
For
Like
sure.
it worst pick, and that's what does it for me with Johnny Flynn is like the team got a chance to look at all of these players,
Yeah.
take Ricky Rubio, who would
Yeah.
fit perfectly next to a Steph Curry,
Yeah.
and then they pick Johnny Flynn, and
Yeah.
it's to make
Yeah.
them like compete with each other. And
It is so rough when who's the number one pick in this draft? Is it Russell? Is Westbrook '09 or is he '08?
is it Blake Griffin?
Oh, maybe that's right.
Westbrook was never first pick.
He was fourth, right?
Yeah, he was the year
Yeah,
before
okay.
Harden. Harden would have
Okay.
been Blake Griffin.
Okay. So it's Blake Griffin and then Hashim Thabit. Oh god. Okay. Hashim Thabit and then James Harden, Tyreek Evans, Ricky Rubio, Johnny Flynn, Steph Curry. I mean, like, and then even further, DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Jennings, Drew Holiday, Ty Lawson, Jeff Teague, even Darren Collison. Like, there are so many guards in this first round that panned out to be at least good players. And then there's Johnny Flynn.
Yeah,
Like, I
I think
feel
it's got
bad
to be
for him.
Johnny.
Again, he was I called it on the money. He was all rookie second team his first year.
We're judging the team, not the player.
Okay, that's fair. But on that thing though, like they had Zebo and Mark Gasol.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this
This
probably
should be the
should
final.
this should be the final matchup.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um.
I think I agree. I think it's Johnny Flynn. I think like it's just so wide. It's just I mean like it's one of the it is one of the craziest drafts ever for like moves the team made because am I wrong? Didn't they pick another guard? Let's
Well, you
see.
could also make the argument.
Yes, they picked Ty Lawson.
God. Yeah, I think it's got to be Johnny Flynn. This is just all time fumble.
This is why KG left. This is why KG
You
left
at
the
least made the
argument.
case for the to beat pick,
Yeah.
There's no case for this Johnny Flynn thing. And that's not his fault, but
No, it's not. It's not his fault. He was I mean, like I said, he was pretty solid until he got hurt. So
yeah.
he's not a bad player. Okay, next up, we're gonna move to the other side of the bracket. We got through that in 10 minutes, so we're moving quicker. This is good. Okay.
Okay.
2011, Jan Vesely, Bucks, sixth overall. Again, not really a good comp for him, but at the 15th pick, which is several picks later, was Kawhi Leonard. But again, I had to have another position, so he's in here for that. Also, he's
Okay.
terrible, and he's a sixth pick, so
Yeah.
he deserves it. And then number 10, or excuse me, in 2010, the Clippers, eighth overall, picked Al Farouk Aminu, and the next two picks were Gordon Hayward and Paul George.
Dang.
And I looked it up. It wasn't like Paul George was like, oh, he might not be anything. It was like, oh no, this guy's going to be good. He just might.
Yeah.
He can pretty much all he does is score. And Al Farouk Aminu was like, I think I read his thing. It was like he has every intangible you could want physically. The things he can't do, we can teach him. And then
Yeah.
he didn't get taught.
We'll add the scoring later.
Yeah. So I would probably say Farouk Al Farouk, uh, just because
Okay.
there's
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
closer comp.
Yeah. I agree.
Even
A
if
much better.
even if Vaseli is like not maybe a worse player.
Yeah.
Again, we're not judging the player, we're judging the pick. Okay, and we have another one that's kind of bad, but '06 Patrick Bryant, number 9 to the Warriors. Again, he's a power forward. There's no real comp after him. But JJ Redick was in that draft later, so
Hmm.
for what
Yeah.
it's worth. And he is going up against in the '07 draft, the Bucks with the 6th overall picked the guy that everyone thought, and by everyone I mean pretty much no one, was going to be the next Yao Ming was Yi Jianlian.
Oh, dude. Great 2K player.
He is a very good 2K player, but they missed out on drafting Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer.
It's probably Yee.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yi moves forward, and Patrick Bryant, you are no longer with us. I mean, maybe you're still alive. I have no idea. But the good news is we've gotten rid of all of the players I added because I had no one else. So that's good.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, 2015, Justice Winslow, drafted 10th overall by the Heat. And very soon after, Devin Booker out of Kentucky is selected. Now,
Yeah.
Justice Winslow had a moment for sure,
Okay.
but he's no Devin Booker.
Yeah. I had a sick team built around it was Justice Winslow's rookie year,
Hmm.
and I built a franchise in 2K, and he turned into an amazing number 2 next to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
I've got love in my heart for him.
And he's like out of the league now, isn't he?
Haven't heard from him in a very long
I feel like
time.
he left a couple years ago. Like he just like fell off. He had like one good season. One, I think he was like good in the 20 like the bubble playoff, maybe,
Okay.
or like the Caleb Martin year. I think he played pretty well. You
Mm.
remember playoff Caleb Martin? That was what a time. Uh,
2023 was his last season.
wow. Okay, so he's going up against the 1999 draft. Our first 99er, Jonathan Bender, was picked fifth overall by the Pacers. And you can definitely understand the pick because Jonathan Bender, if you don't know anything about Jonathan Bender, was basically Kevin Durant uh, 8 years early.
Mm.
7 footer, played shooting guard in high school, and just could fill it up from everywhere.
Okay.
But got hurt and then couldn't really make it work in the NBA. They could have had the Pacers, who had a very good team in '99, because I think they had just made. I think in did they make a finals run that year? There was a year there they made a finals run, so they were pretty solid. Wally Zerbiak, Rip Hamilton, or Sean Marion were also in that draft as
Mm.
not exactly comps because again, Jonathan Bender's like a one of one type of guy back in the day, so you can't really find a good comp for him. But at least if you're talking like guards or forwards who could score,
Right.
it's one of those guys.
Hmm.
I think I would say Justice is the worst pick because like you can understand. I mean, you can understand why they picked Justice Winslow, but
Yeah.
like you can definitely understand why you'd go for a guy with that much potential, even if
Right.
it didn't work out.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, so we're
I
gonna
just
move.
like Justice Winslow, so I didn't want to say him, but you're right.
So we'll move Jonathan. Oh, we'll move. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. We'll move Justice forward. Sad for you, I guess. Didn't know you were such a
Oh well.
Justice Winslow fan.
We had good times.
Next up, we have '02 Dewan Wagner, uh, who was drafted sixth by the Cavs. Again, another guy who got injured. I believe he got like diverticulitis and then like
Oh,
couldn't play anymore. So it was like a intestinal injury that screwed him over. But the next, and this one, he's probably not going to make it very far. Well, he's definitely not making it far because I see who's going up against. But his next comp is Juan Dixon, who is a guy that a solid player, but
okay.
is not this one because at the '03 draft, the Pistons second overall picked,
Oh, Darko Milicic.
yeah, instead of getting Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, or heck, even Chris Kaman.
Yeah. Anybody that could have added to the plethora of talent they had.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty easy to
It's
put
got to be
Darko forward,
Darko. Yep.
which is good news for me as a Wagner family fan, as I think I've talked about. I think I talked about that last week actually. And now we have two guys from the 2012 draft. We have Thomas Robinson, who the Kings picked fifth overall,
Oh
out of
yeah, I
out
remember
of
that name.
Kansas,
Okay.
power forward. Could have had the drum god,
Ah,
and also in 2012, the Cavs with the fourth pick picked Dion Waiters, and could have had
okay. And
Damian
they
Lillard.
made the best possible pick.
Did you hear what I said?
I'd take Dion Waiters over anybody in the draft.
Over Damian Lillard. You would you?
That's so crazy. Um,
This one's tough because like Damian Lillard, obviously a better player than Andre Drummond, but I would also say Dion Waiters, obviously a better player than Thomas Robinson.
yeah, I think it's Thomas Robinson because I have like a deep affinity for Dion Waiters just because of how goofy and funny he is. But I understand the argument that Damian Lillard is Damian Lillard. So
But I will say like the comp is not as good. The comp is not as close, right? Damian Lillard not really a similar player to Dion Waiters.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe we can let's get rid of Dion Waiters for that, for your love of him and for his performance in the NBA 2K game where they tried to make him act and he has apparently never spoken a
Oh
word
no,
sentence in his entire life. Have you ever seen that when they
I
like
didn't know
got him
about
in the
that
booth?
one. Mm-mm.
Oh, look up like Damian Lillard 2K acting after this is over
Okay,
and you're in for a treat, my friend.
I love it.
Okay, now we have in the '01 draft, the Jazz with the 24th pick picked a guard from overseas
Okay.
that didn't was we weren't really sure about how good he was going to be. His name is Raul Lopez. Now
I
you're
remember
wondering.
Raul
Now
Lopez.
you're like, you're like, who's Raul no Lopez? Why would we care about him? Remember what I said about a guard who from overseas who we were kind of questionable about?
Yeah.
Uh, a couple of picks later, Tony Parker was selected.
Ooh, brutal. Dang.
And now we have another pick proving that I'm not a homer because we have 2005 Joey Graham, who the Raptors picked 16th overall. Could have had Danny Granger or
Oof.
even
Okay.
Gerald Green,
Hmm.
who, to be fair, should not have been in that draft. He should have been signing to play with Joey Graham's old team, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, but he jumped straight from high school.
Yeah, I think it's Raul. I mean, dang, Joey Graham, what could have been, but
Hmm.
Tony Parker is just,
That's a big. I
I
mean, and
guess
it's
it's hard to see that coming, but
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like they're both like guys that we weren't sure of. Not both. Like Raul Lopez and Tony Parker are like both guys that had potential but were overseas, so kind of unknowns, and they just completely biffed it.
yeah, they got the wrong one.
So you want to knock out Joey? I'm not going to
Yeah,
fight it. I'm not going to fight it.
yeah. And in respect for your alma mater, well,
Let's go. Okay, now we have the man on this podcast you hate the most. Your least favorite player, apparently, in basketball
of all
history, because
time,
you've bad talked this man at least twice.
today,
No, in the history of this show.
oh, I'm sorry.
The
I take it.
1999,
I'll take it back.
the 1999 Cleveland Cavaliers, 11th overall, when they already had a point guard in Andre Miller, picked the Alaskan assassin, Trajan Langdon.
I don't have any problem with Trajan Langdon. I'm
Talk bad about him all the time.
talking about the state of Alaska
They could have had
and its basketball prospects.
They could have had Corey Maggette or Ron Artest to instead of picking a position they already had a really good player in.
Yeah.
But he is going up against a guy that he probably will beat, I would guess. We'll see. Or no, this guy will beat him, I guess. Is 2016, the Bucks with the 10th overall pick selected Thon Maker instead of selecting Demontis Sabonis.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's rough.
I hate Alaska, but
Oh my gosh, how dare
that's
you?
that one. I'm just joking.
I'm just joking.
Langen.
Can I have that? I'm just joking. Sorry. A joke that most of the people who listen, maybe they will, I don't know.
I hope
Okay.
so.
It's a good
You
bit.
shouldn't watch this show if you don't watch that show.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, we have a couple of newbies to the league. I think one of them might actually be out of the league, but maybe I don't remember I don't know for sure. But we have, and you're gonna like this one actually because we have 2023, the Magic with the sixth pick selected Anthony Black. 4 picks later, similar position, shooting guard, young guy, Cason Wallace could have been selected there. Would have been a
Yeah.
huge help for the Magic nowadays. Now Anthony Black not a bad player, but Cason Wallace is. I mean, he's going to get a huge contract at some point.
Yeah. I
He's
was gonna
playing.
say, if he was on a worse team too, what would I
Yeah,
mean, how
for
like
sure.
what's the limit?
And then he is going up against 2022 draft Johnny Davis, who the Wizards picked 10th overall. And do you know who came after Johnny Davis in that draft?
What was the year?
2022. Couple picks later,
No.
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think you got to go Johnny Davis. I don't know if he's even in the league anymore. I
What?
certainly have not heard of him. Heard about
And
him.
right after Jalen Williams, you got Usman Jang. You could have taken him too.
Actually, I think Usman wasn't he above?
Oh, am I thinking the other way around?
Wasn't he? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think they were back to back, but I can't remember
They're
if it
definitely
was.
back to back. I thought it was Usman went first, but maybe it's Jalen Williams. I don't remember. I'm trying to look up to see if Johnny Davis is still playing basketball, at least in the NBA, because I don't think he is.
Yeah, I think it's probably Johnny Davis.
Yeah, he's out of the league.
Yeah,
It's
that's easy. It's
horrible.
like 23 years old.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
Crazy.
so Anthony Black still playing, so he gets to stay in the
Good
bracket for
job.
now. Not for now. He's or no, he's out of the bracket. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I confused myself. Okay,
We
here we
got
go.
you.
2010, Al Farouk Aminu versus '07 Yi Zhanlian. Yi, if you remember, had
This is Paul George.
this is Paul George versus Joakim Noah, were the guys they could have had.
Yeah, let's go for Al Farouk.
I would agree with that. Okay. Then we have 20, we have 2015 Justice Winslow versus '03 Darko Milicic. And I'm already scrolling down to Justice Winslow to take him out
Yep.
because
Thank you.
Darko is going through for sure. And next up, we have 2012 Thomas Robinson instead of Andre Drummond
Yep.
going up against '01 Raul Lopez versus Tony Parker. Now, I think, what do you think?
Raul.
So I think I would go Thomas Robinson because, and you could talk me out of this, but they were both flyers, right? Like Raul Lopez and Tony Parker are both. We're taking a flyer on this guy. We don't
You're
know,
saying it's
like,
more luck based than
yeah,
yeah. Okay. You talk me into it.
okay. So we'll go Thomas Robinson. I'm not saying Thomas Robinson deserves to win this or anything, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. Next up, we have 2016 Thon Maker versus 2022 Johnny Davis.
Who was after Thonmaker?
Domantas Sabonis, the young Saboner.
Man, it's probably that one.
You think so? How many years? Let's see how many years Thon Maker played in the league because I feel like he hung around but probably just because he's so big. Thon Maker's only 29. Wow. No, the Thon Maker was out of the league
I
in
don't know. I
2021.
mean,
They were both out of the league when they were 23 years old. So
Jalen Williams is like, if he didn't get hurt, he would have probably been an All NBA again.
yeah,
Willis has never been All NBA, so
I mean, I guess like I could see going Thon with the idea that like theoretically Johnny Davis could come back, right? He's been out of the league for a year, but we have seen guys come back. I'm not saying he's going
yeah,
to come back and be great, but Thonmaker's been out of the league since 2021, so he's not coming back.
right.
Although, who was it recently? I was, oh gosh, what's his name? There was a guy I was doing a thing of, oh, is it? I think it's Nikolash Tishkvili. Tishkvili. I need to remember how to pronounce his name because he's literally on this list. But he like played, left for 9 years, and then tried to come back and play with the Clippers
Hmm.
and almost made the
Dang.
roster. So I guess it could happen, but I'm
I
just
mean, it is the
saying,
Clippers. So,
yeah.
also, I take back what I said. Domantas
Uh-huh.
Sabonis has made the All NBA third team twice,
Okay. So
and
you
also
just
been in the MVP voting twice. So I think we got to go with Thon Maker.
okay, so Johnny Davis is off the board. I'm fine with
I
that.
can't believe that. I just know. I know the Kings had the light the beam like year and a half, but I
Yeah.
just they're so bad that I was like, he'll never have been anything.
Have I sent you the light the beam meme I made? I think it's
I
very
don't.
good.
You should
It's
resend it to me if you.
it's just light the beam, but um it's uh it's it involves Ivan Ooze
Hmm.
from the
Nice.
Power Rangers movie. It's very good. So I send it on every time I remember about it when I'm on Blue Sky and the Kings win, I put it out there
Hmm.
because I think it's very funny. But no one likes it, so it must not be that funny. Okay, we have although I only have like 100 followers on there, so it's not like very many. We're seeing my jokes.
You're getting there.
Uh, I mean, whatever. I don't. Never mind. We don't have to get into my follower account. I don't care. I just post. I just like to post about basketball games. Okay. Al Farouk Aminu versus Darko Milicic.
Darko
It's
Milicic.
got to be Darko. It's got to be Darko. I feel bad. I think Darko in a better situation could have turned out to be something, but I think he got so much handed to him so early and also had like no opportunities to play because the team was
Also,
already
the
loaded.
roster around him is
Yeah.
sorry, meaning the roster of people taken after him is just
It's
otherworldly.
wild. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the best drafts of all time. Uh, Thomas Robinson versus Thon Maker. Probably Thon.
Thon Maker, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't realize Sabonis had two All NBA teams.
Yeah. You don't respect Saboner. We knew
Dude,
that from
I wanted him on the Thunder. I wish we
he
never would have
wasn't
traded
he on
him.
the Thunder?
Yeah, we traded him and Oladipo for Paul George. I thought it was stupid.
It turned out very well in the long run though. So
Yeah, obviously. I'll take it. But
okay, so we have Darko versus Thon. It's got to be Darko. As much as I like Darko, I feel bad for him, but it's got to
yeah,
be Darko, right?
it's got to be Darko.
Okay, so Darko makes it into the next round. And where are you, Thon Maker, so I can X you off? Okay, here we go. All right, so we are into the final region of the bracket, and we have a fun one here to start, at least fun for me,
Okay.
because we have 1999, the Lakers picked Devin George, 23rd overall. And again, maybe you could say, oh, we just didn't know, but Andre Kirilenko was very soon after. Imagine adding AK 47 to the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal Lakers.
Yeah.
Just think
Yeah.
about it. But then the next thing we have to talk about is the entire end of the first round of the 2020 of the 2005 draft
Okay.
because David Lee was picked with, I believe, the last pick of the first round. Here are the next five picks before David Lee. All bigs. Johan Petro, Jason Maxiel, Linus Kleiza, Ian Mahamini, and Wayne Simeon, all picked before David Lee.
I'm gonna give it to those guys because that's a murderer's row there.
So good. Okay. Next up, we have 2014 draft. Doug McDermott. McBuckets was selected before Zach Levine
Okay. Dang.
with the 11th pick by the Nuggets.
Does
Not,
that even matter though?
what do you mean? Oh, because Zach Levine's not good?
Doug McDermott probably has like 10 times the playoff wins that.
You're not wrong. He's going up against number 2001, the first overall pick by Michael Jordan's Wizards, Kwame Brown.
Ooh,
Other options in that draft at center, Tyson Chandler and Pau Gasol.
Kwame Brown. Poor guy.
That's tough. I mean,
He was
Kwame,
hurt too, right?
yes, and he definitely was like good when he wasn't hurt. He wasn't a bad player. He just,
Yeah.
I mean, one, I'm pretty sure like Michael Jordan ruined him mentally, but also it was just a rough position for him to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have in the 2004 draft with the eighth overall pick, the Raptors selected Rafael Araujo from Brazil. They could have had Al Jefferson. And I also want to point out in this same draft, before Al Jefferson went, other guys who were selected Andres Biedrins and Robert Swift.
Heck yeah.
So a horrible draft for all those. I mean, like so many bigs, and only one of them was good.
Yeah.
Sucks to be those teams. And he is going up against from the 2011 draft, the Kings with the 10th pick. They decided it was Jimmer time because they
Yep.
picked Jimmer Fredette instead of getting Clay Thompson.
I think it's got to be Jimmer.
Yeah.
Um, just because they like filmed a documentary about making the pick, and so you can go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's
good.
really just one. I think
So
it's just the
sad.
owner. He's like
Yeah.
so convinced that this is the right thing, and everyone's just kind of
Oh,
like, there's just this dead air. Like, no one wants to say no because they don't want to fight with him. But
yeah, that's so sad.
yeah,
Okay, next up, we have the 2013 draft. Mason Plumlee went 22 to the Nets. They could have
yeah.
had, I think, 3 picks later, Rudy Gobert.
Hmm.
And I
Wait, I
think,
don't even know which Plumlee that is.
well, I think that's the point, right? We're in the 23rd pick. You should go upside, right? And Gobert, obviously very raw, obviously not a guy you're going to pick in the lottery, but like Mason Plumlee was a known factor. Right?
Yeah,
All the Plumlees are a known factor. We know what the Plumlees are.
he. I
Uh,
think he was the good one. He played 13 years.
yeah, he's not a bad. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Again, we're
Okay.
not so much judging the player as we're judging the comp and the pick, like how bad.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then next up in the against him in the 2022 draft, we have Guyman, Oklahoma, the pride of Guyman, Oklahoma,
Okay.
the
Fun.
Spurs with the ninth pick selected. Do you know?
I had no idea.
You don't know who's from Guyman?
I'm
Jeremy
sure I'll know.
Sohan,
Oh, dang.
and they
Is he
could have
not on
had.
the team anymore?
No, he plays for the Knicks now.
Dang, that's crazy.
They cut him at the trade around the trade deadline.
Oof, poor
And
guy.
they could have had, which would have been, I think actually it's a good thing they didn't do this
Oh,
because they
because
could
it
have
got
had
him
Jalen
Wimby.
Duren. So
For sure.
I think you definitely have to go Plumlee here because I think it's like actually a good thing that the Spurs not messed it up, but
Yeah,
didn't get the good player.
let's stick with Plumlee. I like it.
And we get to keep Sohan, my precious child, off of the list. Okay. Next up, we have from the '05 draft, one Marvin Williams went to the Hawks with the second overall pick. Now, the thing about this one is Marvin Williams is not a point guard. So the comps I'm going to give you don't really make a lot of sense for not taking Marvin Williams. But I do need to point out that the point guards playing for Atlanta that year were Tyronn Lue and Royale Ivy.
Yeah.
And they could have had Deron Williams or Chris Paul.
Ooh, that's so tough.
And he is going up against in the 2002 draft a guy I mentioned earlier, the Nuggets with the fifth pick picked Nikolash Tiskavili and could have had Nene or Amare Stoudemire.
Golly, I've never heard that name,
Mm.
so that's tough.
So you're
But
saying
Chris Paul
you
and
didn't watch
Darren,
my every fifth pick ranked video that I put out last
so
week, is what you're
sorry,
saying.
I didn't.
How rude of you.
Um, but I think I'm going with the Chris
It's got
Paul.
to be Chris Paul, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marvin Williams will move on. Next, we're almost here at the end here. We got 2018 draft. Colin Sexton picked uh, eighth by the Cavs. Can you guess the player they could have had in the 2018 draft that also plays point guard? You're very familiar with this man.
Play for my team.
He does play for your team.
Shea
It is Shea.
was
SGA.
2018. Yeah.
SGA was
Okay.
2018. And going up against him is a guy that many people would probably say is a favorite to win this bracket, but I actually think he's not that strong of a contender. 2013's Anthony Bennett, who the Cavs picked first overall. However, that draft is one of the worst drafts of all time. There's no good comp for him within the range. Obviously, you could be like, oh, well, Giannis was in that draft, so it could have been Giannis. But Giannis was picked 15th overall. No one was picking him first overall. The only
Yeah.
other player they could have realistically gotten is Victor Oladipo, who is not that good.
Yeah. Was good for
I mean, he was
two or
fine.
three seasons, but I actually think it's the other guy. I don't even remember his name. The Shea
Colin
guy,
Sexton,
Colin Sexton.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Bennett is overrated as a but. I mean, he's not a good player, but like comparative to his draft, he's not that. He's like The rest of the draft
Yeah,
sucked too. So
people who like think that he was such a horrible pick just weren't paying attention because like if you watched even on draft night, people were like, "We don't know what to do." Like it was
yeah,
basically it was a room full of analysts going like, "You could take Anthony Bennett or you could take anybody," and
yeah,
that
it's
would
just
be and I like it wasn't. There was no consensus on even a top 10. It was just like these are players.
yeah. I mean, it's I think like the 2000 draft is really really bad, but 2013 is also very high up there and like worst drafts of all time.
Yeah, Bennett just happened to be any of the guys that got drafted. You would
Yeah.
have been like, "This is a horrible number one pick."
Yeah. Okay, now we have another number one overall pick and a guy I've hinted at before that was going to be on this list.
Okay.
Back to the 2018 draft. It is with the Suns, first overall,
Oh,
2018,
Aiton.
DeAndre Dominatin. They could have had Triple J, Luca, or Trey. And he is going up against in the 01 draft with the eighth overall pick. The Cavs picked Sagana Jop, and they could have had Richard Jefferson or Zach Randolph.
Mm,
Now, Richard Jefferson, not exactly a real comp for Jop, but Zach Randolph definitely is.
I think it's Aiton.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Aiton's a
no matter
rough,
what.
rough one for him. And our final first round matchup of the evening is 2000 draft. Marcus Pfizer went to the Bulls, fourth overall. They could have had Mike Miller. So
Okay.
not a great one there. Honestly, neither of these are that great. 2020 draft, the Spurs with the 11th pick could have they picked Devin Vassell, and they could have had the Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton was available.
Ooh, probably that. I think
Yeah,
I'd go
I think
Devin Vassell.
I
Yeah.
think that's definitely it. But also, I don't know if that's like the strongest entry
Right. Yeah.
because Vassell is still a solid player.
Yeah. But
All right, so now we have the end of the 2005 draft versus Kwame Brown.
um,
I mean, David Lee's.
I don't. It's
Go ahead.
good.
I was gonna say David Lee's a good player, but he's not. He's not even Tyson Chandler, let alone is he Pau Gasol, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was gonna say I don't want to push every single number one overall pick through. So
Yeah.
we should, but we, yeah. I mean, it's Kwame Brown's the answer.
There's a couple of number one overall picks we're not pushing through. We didn't push through Anthony Bennett, and I think he would be most
Oh yeah,
people's
that's
number
funny.
one guy.
That's funny.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Next up, we have 2011's Jimmer Fredette versus 2013's Mason Plumlee.
I think I'd go Jimmer.
Fredette's got to be worse, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They just try to sell it so hard as this
I mean,
amazing
they
thing
literally just wanted to make money. They were just like, oh, we're going to sell a lot of jerseys because everyone loves
because of
Jimmer.
March Madness. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like everyone knew it was a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even in the team, they're like,
Yeah.
please don't make us do this.
Okay, next up we have '05 Marvin Williams. Could have had Deron Williams or Chris Paul. And then he's going up against 2018 Colin Sexton, who they could have had SGA.
And
I feel like Marvin Williams should move forward
yeah,
because I feel like Deron Williams and Chris Paul are like more sure things than SGA was.
yeah, for sure.
Now
And it
SGA,
was, and there's two of them,
yeah.
both turned into all NBA guys. So
For the longest time, I don't know why. I really thought it was pronounced Deron instead of Darren. Did I said Deron, didn't I, earlier? It's
Deron
Darren.
Williams.
It's Darren.
Hmm. I always
I,
thought it was Deron.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Who knows? People, please just pronounce his name right and tell me. Next up, we have 2018 DeAndre Ayton versus 2020 Devin Vassell. It's got
Aiden.
to be Ayton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Okay, so Ayton moves on. Now we go to the Sweet 16 round. We have Kwame Brown versus Jimmer Fredette. I mean, say what you will about Kwame Brown, but at least like there was a hint that he was going to be a good player.
Yeah,
Like there was potential. Like Jimmer Fredette, we all knew was not going to work out.
shot some threes sometimes. Yeah, I think it's Jimmer.
I agree. Jimmer goes through. You're welcome, Mr. Jordan. And next up, we have '05 Marvin Williams and 2018's DeAndre Ayton. That's
DeAndre
tough.
Ayton.
You think so? For sure?
Yeah,
Chris Paul, Deron Williams versus Luca, Trey, Triple J.
he's gotten kicked off like three teams now.
Yeah, okay. All
I
right,
don't.
okay.
When him and Booker went to the finals, I liked that team. I thought they were going to be good, but
Yeah,
something's going on with that dude. Like, why did he ever want to get off the team in the first place? Why does he
I
now
don't
want to
know.
be off the Lakers?
he's he's something there's something going on up there.
Yeah.
Okay, we can send him through. I think Marvin Williams is a strong entry, but we could send
You
eight
also overrate Darren Williams. You always have.
I don't think overrate is
You're like
fair.
a huge. You acted like he was such a good point guard. He
I
was
I think
easily like the seventh best point guard and never above that.
in the league,
Yeah, for sure.
that's definitely not true.
It is.
There were years where he was literally statistically better than Chris Paul. I don't think he's better than Chris Paul overall, but there were years, there were times, there were
Well,
moments.
yeah, because he played for a crappy Jazz team
He played for the Nets when they were good.
when they were good.
Yeah, when they had
Oh,
like
that was like the start of their downfalls when they signed him and Joe Johnson and KG and Paul Pierce and
that's not when he came there though.
oh really?
Yeah, actually maybe you're right. Yeah, I'm mixing
I've
it up.
always thought he was overrated.
I think he is underrated because so many people like you hate him so much, but I do think I overrate him. Does that make sense?
Good stats, bad winning percentage.
Well, what can you do? All right, so we have Fredette versus Dominatin. I would still
It's
say
so
Fredette.
close.
I would say
Okay,
Fredette
let's stick with it.
because like you can see it with Aiton, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
7 foot tall and he can play when he
right.
sometimes. All right, Fredette moves on, and that
And
means
as clear as Luca is in retrospect, it wasn't like that. And Trey had some concerns with being like super short, and so
is he super short?
isn't he like 6 foot?
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but how tall is Steph? 6'2"?
Well, I think that was the knock. Is like Steph can't guard, and then Trey Young's like a smaller version of him.
Yeah, and can guard less.
Trey
Like,
Young is 6'2", but he weighs 164.
oh my gosh, 164 at 6'2". He's 6 foot two.
Yeah,
One six. That man weighs 40 pounds less than I do, and we're the
Steph
same
is
size.
6'2", 185. So even Steph has a 20-pound weight advantage
That's
on him.
wild. That's so wild. I'm not like that overweight, and I weigh 40 pounds more than Trey Young. We're the same height. That's wild. Okay, we're here in our final four. Let's get this thing wrapped
Okay.
up.
Yep.
This is a murderer's row here.
I don't even. I feel like we've had so many good ones that I'm just not going to be able to pick.
So our first matchup is 2020 James Wiseman versus 2009 Johnny Flynn.
Johnny Flynn. Sorry, never mind. I feel really good about
I
Johnny
think it's
Flynn.
got to be Johnny Flynn for
Yeah.
no other reason that like at least the comp is there, right? Like James Wiseman, there wasn't another good big guy, so it's
Yeah.
not, and you could see like you could definitely see why they made that pick.
It's kind of only the position they needed,
Yeah, and John, yeah, and they, well,
and
yeah,
he was the best available player.
they definitely need a big because Draymond Green not cutting it.
Yeah,
Draymond
agreed.
Green sucks. All right, 2003 Darko Milicic versus 2011 Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, I think it's Darko.
Okay, um, I yeah, I think you're right. I hate that Fredette pick so much because they knew he wasn't going to be any good. And like, not that Clay Thompson, we knew Clay Thompson was going to be a top 100, 125 player of all time,
Yeah,
but like he has a pedigree, as we established last podcast. His dad did play in the NBA. He was a solid player he played at a smaller school, if memory serves, like Washington State or something like that comes to mind. I could be wrong. There's just, man, I really want to pick Jimmer, but there's like Mello, Bosch, and Wade all behind Darko makes it like imagine that whoever that guy is on those Pistons, it would have been. I
it's
mean,
really bad.
it's really bad. Okay, so Darko versus Johnny Flynn to decide the bracket. Do we pick the guy who after him was like a generational run of great picks, or do we pick the guy who, for whatever reason, his team picked 3 point guards that year and none of them were Steph Curry, the ninth or 10th best player in NBA history?
They're both so bad
So
for different
terrible.
reasons.
Yeah.
I think it's Darko,
Really? Okay.
But it's just the I think, and I wasn't. I mean, that's like when I was just starting to pay attention to basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and Melo had that amazing tournament,
Yeah.
was already like the number one pick, and it's like all year basically, it was like if LeBron James wasn't in this draft, Carmelo should be the number one pick.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they just, it's not even all the other guys after. It's like there was a number one option. Then there
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden there became this other another number one option who came straight from high school. And it's just like it was such a sure thing. It's like the Kevin Durant thing. Like I get the potential of Greg Oden, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone was so sure that this guy was going to be good, and you just decide, let's take a gamble on
Here,
Dargo.
here's what I would say is you look at that roster, and the 2004 Pistons obviously won an NBA title, right? So they
Yeah,
have Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton,
Tayshaun
Tayshaun
Prince,
Prince,
Ben
Ben
Wallace.
Wallace, Rasheed Wallace. Like, there's definitely something to be said about we bring in Melo and what we're going to move Rasheed Wallace to the bench. We're going to put Melo like there's definitely like some you could ruin the chemistry, right? If you bring in a
Yeah.
guy like Melo, because like where I think Dwayne Wade is honestly the better pick for that team,
Hmm.
right? Like I think Dwayne Wade definitely could have easily been a guy you bring off the bench to swap out with Rip or with Tayshaun even. Um, so I'm not saying I understand the pick because I like where's Darko playing? Darko's not playing. That's the whole point. That's why he's
Yeah.
here. But I just think like you have, I think I can see where they would be like, oh, we don't want Melo. I'm specifically talking about Melo
Okay.
because of his personality and like he's going to want to play immediately. He's going to want to get big minutes immediately. We can't do that. I think they should have traded the pick probably more than
Yeah.
anything.
Absolutely.
Whereas like so like I can understand I guess what I'm saying is I can understand to some degree you pick the more projecty guy because you're thinking, "Oh, this guy's not going to play for us anyways."
So in the future,
We don't necessarily want to like ruin our chemistry by getting a Mello on the team, even if he's a way better player right now. Whereas Johnny Flynn, we're gonna pick 3 point guards in this.
yeah.
I can't understand. There's nothing in my brain that makes sense that they picked Johnny Flynn. Honestly, there's less in my brain that makes sense that they later picked Ty Lawson.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's like the most befuddling pick. I don't know if that makes it the worst pick.
You've convinced me.
Okay.
It's Johnny Flynn.
All right. Johnny Flynn is officially the worst draft pick of the last 25 years. That is not an indictment on Johnny Flynn.
Yeah.
He's not the worst player
It's
of the
his team's
last.
fault.
Yeah.
And like
But
I said earlier, you like I think most people would say Bowie, but like when you bring up the idea of worst pick, I all like Johnny Flynn's the first name on my mind. So
yeah.
that's it's not hard to convince me because I think about it all the time how dumb it was.
Okay. That's good. Sounds good to me. Okay. So this is officially the end of bracket season. We will speak offline if we want to do, if we're going to do another podcast on the what would be March 6th or April 6th. Geez. But we might take a week off. I think we probably will take a week off. We'll see. Well, either way, at some point we will be back in your ear holes with a regular episode. Although actually it won't be a regular episode. Next time we are going to do an April Fool's episode, even if it's not actually April Fool's Day.
Oh God.
I have a
Okay.
special plan for our version of April Fools.
Can't wait.
The I'll give you a small hint. It will not be a podcast about basketball. So that is your only hint.
Oh, how fun.
But do you have anything? I mean, actually, crap. You know what? We're not even going to be able to do that freaking podcast. We're going to have to do a stupid NBA playoff preview. Jesus, Louise. Okay. Um, do you have anything? Okay, so our next podcast is probably going to be NBA playoff previews
Okay.
because that when did the playoffs start?
I thought it was like mid-April or late
Well, if
April.
our next podcast is April 13th, is that we could do an emergency podcast. We could do a normal episode and then a emergency playoff prediction pod. We did an emergency podcast for the preseason last year because we were in the middle of our ABA run, and so
April 18th is the beginning of the plan.
yeah, so that is if our next podcast would come out. We shouldn't be planning this on the air, but if our next podcast would come out the 13th, that would be so. I guess we could do a normal podcast and then convene and try to put something together at the end of the week to post on Saturday. It'd be an emergency podcast. We could do that. We'll talk about it.
You're
We'll figure it out. Although Never mind. We're gonna be that's gonna be a wild week. All right. We will. Do you have anything you want to talk about before we get out of here? Sorry, I'm planning and trailing off into thoughts that I shouldn't be having. That makes it sound
Uh,
like it's dirty. It's not dirty thoughts.
okay.
It's not dirty.
You're just making it worse.
It's just thoughts that like don't pertain to the podcast.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
You don't have
No
anything you
ex
want to say?
no extras.
No extras today.
I'll
Okay,
save
we
it for
will.
the playoff preview.
All right, we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.